Hello, this is Dreams with Jam. Thanks for joining me today. We have an exciting complete Storybook Vale tour up for you today. I'm super excited. If you do like this video, please drop a like at the end. I really appreciate it. Or better yet, you could hit that subscribe button and get notified when there is new content. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start up here on the bridge in the Library of Lore, and we're going to head down into the bind. Now, I do have a separate video on the bind itself. I think a lot of these different areas do have separate videos, but I wanted to do this full tour for everyone. Okay, so down here, we are in kind of a city build. It's definitely cottagecore, so it's definitely got that overall bind feel, shall we say, with the oranges and yellows and some of the kind of country aesthetic. We have the Snuggly Duckling, Scrooge. I put the library cottage house here. As you know, Storybook Vale is all about books and stories and whatnot, so I wanted to put that here. Here's a little reading nook back in this corner with Rapunzel checking things out. And our little bird reading the Ugly Duckling book. Okay. And then over on this side here, there is Remy's house and the Monsters Inc. apartment building with this center courtyard. I did use some of the Mythopia trees in through here, and I liked the cobblestone pathing on this side. And there's a market with Goofy's stall. And then I put the veggie truck as well back in this corner. Just using some barrels and crates and different flowers and logs and things in through here to fill it in. Okay, let's head across the bridge here. The other side, I did use a different path. I used the Main Street path for the residential side. I didn't use it in the entire biome only because it's so similar in color to the actual grass that it kind of blends in a little bit. So I didn't want to use it on both sides. That's why I used the cobblestone over on the city side, just to kind of switch things up. Okay, so I used all of the different cottages along with Gaston's house and Flynn Rider. Those houses and stuff are all kind of cohesive. Here's another reading nook. I used the topiaries, the bind fence, and then the brick fence in between, so kind of like this 3-layer thing that I did. I liked how that turned out, actually. I thought it was really cute. And there's the bind house. I love that those stone path tiles here, you don't have to worry about the stupid holes popping up underneath them. Oh, that drives me insane in the valley. I love using them, but in the valley, it's just such a pain. Same with the tropical boards, because anytime you have a hole pop up, you have to go into furniture mode, move the tile piece, dig the hole, fill the hole, put the tile piece back. It's just kind of a pain. Again, we're all begging for that to be toggled on and off. Okay, so that's the bind. Let's head up into Mythopia. So the first area in Mythopia that we'll check out here is the Elysian. Is it the Elysian? Is that how you say it? Elysian. The Elysian Fields. Okay, so what I did up here, I made it a little bit of kind of a residential area. So again, I used the cobblestone path in through here, and then I used all the different Mythopia bushes and trees. I wanted it to look a little meandering. And there's a little clock and the greenhouse house skin. And then heading up this way towards the exit into the fiery fields, I put Goofy's stall and a crafting bench. You know, it just dawned on me, I don't think I've ever tried to move Goofy's stall out of this area. Does his stall go into the other Mythopia areas, or does it have to stay in the Elysian Fields? I've not tried that. If you've tried it and it worked, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so this is currently my house in Storybook Vale. I made this pretty little sitting area overlooking the water across from my house. And here it's the Charlotte LeBoeuf skin next to the well, a gazebo, and then heading over here to where I have kind of an orchard and Lady Tremaine's house. And then heading over into the statue's shadow, or shadow of the statue. Okay, so I dedicated this whole area to Hades. I wanted to pay homage to the statue itself that's in the back, in the trial area, and then the statue that we do get of his. So I thought this would be a really good area to pay tribute to Hades and make a little underworld for him. So the outside is really, really bright and, you know, kind of just a pretty, almost park kind of area. And then I used all of the Hercules items in through here. So you can see there's the archways, those Greek buildings, which I hope when we eventually get Hercules and because I'm manifesting that we are going to get them, that we get more items like that. Okay, so in through here is the underworld trials, or what you go through the underworld area. And I do have a video on this particular build where I go into a little bit deeper of what I was thinking building this and what each particular section represents. I like how this turned out. It was really challenging because how do you build an underworld in Dreamlight Valley? But I think I did a pretty good job. I really like how it turned out. And then here's the Hades fountain area. And then heading over this way towards his house. In his little backyard with the demon squirrel. Sorry, the dark squirrel. And then just kind of placing the fountains and those Greek tile rugs, mosaic rug, just to create a sitting area. And then heading up into the fiery fields. We have my most recent build, which is the Valentine Love Castle build. And over here as well is the Madrigal family mini casita in Mirabelle. I used a ton of pink and yellow in through here. That was the theme. in creating this particular section. So cute. I absolutely love the petals, although I really wish those petals did not count against the item limit and were used as path instead of, an actual item that you're putting down. Like fencing and path doesn't count against your item limit. I wish the petals did as well. I think that would allow, at least, definitely for Switch, players to be able to decorate more. But you can see here I used it under this complete path, so that definitely, it sucks up a big part of your item limit if you want to do something like that. And what's nice about using these petals under the rocks like this is they do flatten the grass. A lot of the grass here in Storybook Vale is a little bit on the longer side in each particular area and biome. So I liked using those petals because they do flatten the grass and it allows you to make a path in a more visible fashion. And there's those Encanto flower chairs, which I thought looked just beautiful back in the gazebos. They fit in there so nicely. And here's Mini Casita. Again, the pink and yellow just pop out on Mini Casita back in here. I think that this particular biome is perfect for it. And here's the backyard where they can hang out and eat their meals together. Wanted it to look like a big family space. Okay, so then heading down into the Mount Olympus area, we have the temple complex and our market. Let's head to the market first. We'll kind of round through there and then back around into the temple. So I used a lot of the stalls from the Eternity Isle pack to create this marketplace. Obviously, they're supposed to look, Middle Eastern, but I think they worked really well for a Greek build. Fruits and vegetables. And then the spice market. Here's our flower stall. We have a bookseller, a seamstress, or man. What do you call a tailor, I guess? Here's a precious goods market. More of the flowers. And then we'll see the fish market as well. Showcasing some of the fish and thing that you get here in Mythopia. Okay, so heading over into the temple. Oh, this was so challenging for me to build. If you watched that speed build, or if you want to go in and watch that speed build, you'll see that it was so challenging to build something that's supposed to be symmetrical with items from Gameloft that are not symmetrical. But I think we did a pretty good job. My daughter helped me out on this one. She is a lover of everything Greek mythology. So you can see how we laid that out here and all the different items that we have in game to be able to kind of create this area. Gotta take that down. Making all these mosaic rugs took a lot of resources. I don't know why, but for some reason, almost all the Storybook Vale items are craftables and not, things that you just can get from Scrooge. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad that they're craftable because we have access to them immediately, but man, the resources that it takes to make some of those items is insane. Okay, well, let's head up this ramp here to the bridge and we'll head over into the Ever After. Such a pretty area. I'll be interested to see when we get Act 2 of Storybook Vale of how this particular area plays into it. I hope they do something with it. It's that waterfall and this whole river situation is just so pretty. I hope they do something with it. Okay, so the area that we're heading into, the Ever After, I think this is the Beanstalk. What do you call it? The Beanstalk Marshes. There it is. I knew it was in there somewhere. I dedicated this to Maleficent and Ursula. So I wanted it to look a little on the darker side. So you'll see, some of the trees that we use in the Forgotten Lands. Those dark purple trees, the dead trees, dead bushes, all of that kind of thing. But I mixed it in with the dark blue trees and mushrooms that we get from Storybook Vale. So I wanted it to look magical but dark at the same time. So here I wanted this particular, the Fountain of Youth here, I wanted that to look like a meeting place, shall we say, of dark minds. Here behind this fence, we have kind of a tribute to Maleficent. Obviously, we don't have her in game yet, and I'm sure there will be more items to come from her, but I wanted to give her kind of an important place here. There's her throne, using some of those bright greens that Maleficent is known for. And if you haven't watched Sleeping Beauty, please do. Sleeping Beauty is one of my absolute favorite Disney films of all time. I like Sleeping Beauty because if you look at the art style that they used in the film, it's very, very different from any other film. It's very squared off, very triangular, sharp edges. If you look at the trees, they're the box kind of look, or very, very pointy. They're not that rounded, soft Disney edge that we normally see from, like, we had Snow White and Cinderella, the films that came before Sleeping Beauty. The animation style is just really interesting if you watch it in that regard. I'm hoping that we get even more items from that film, or items that would kind of pay tribute to those graphic designs. So this section heads down into the Teapot Falls. You can see the up house there. This whole section, obviously we don't have Alice in Wonderland yet, but I wanted to kind of make it a whimsical, magical kind of area. So I do have Vanellope, the sweet house. You saw the up house there. You're building this big fountain section, and then also Woody's carousel. I wish we had the option to permanently put this house down. It's such a pretty little house. I mean, look at the colors, but you barely ever see it because it goes up so high that we just don't ever see the house itself. And this heads down into that trial area. Here's my well. And then I wanted to build a whole kind of gaming center, an outdoor fun zone. Or Vanellope's personal Chuck E. Cheese. There's the Bing Bong candy station, the hot air balloon, and then back here would be Woody, Vanellope, and the sweet house. The colors just look so pretty back in here with the purples and pinks and those blues. I mean, Woody's house has a little bit of a different flavor to it, but I liked it back in here, and I honestly just didn't know what else to do with Woody's house. I did at one time have Woody and Vanellope up in the Forgotten Lands and made them creepy, but, you know, you got to switch it up here and again. And there's the sweet house. It'd be nice if we actually, you know, as much as I complain about Vanellope and how hard it is to work with her house, Vanellope along with the sweet house, if we were to able to get at least just one more house skin that went along with that candy theme, I think it would go a long way to kind of make it a more cohesive build. I've said this before in my videos, but in design, you know, I think one of the big tenets is to operate in odd numbers. So 3, 5, 7, 9, etc. It's just more pleasing to the eye. And so just having the two houses, it makes it a little bit difficult. So, you know, I threw Woody in to make that kind of trifecta. But it'd be nice to have one more kind of candy house skin, like maybe the Candy Castle. Okay, so on this side, the Fallen Fortress, I've used the castle walls. Here is Merida on the outside of those castle walls. And then obviously my crafting station and vacuum and well back here as well. And then going inside the castle walls, it's kind of a fairy village. I've used all the different kinds of fairy homes that we have thus far. So we have Mushroom Manor. We have the fairy godmother. And again, using all the pinks and purples and blues that we get with all the different mushrooms. Those big kind of oversized flowers. And those pink swirls. Here's Tinkerbell's house. The fairy Bloss home. The leafy cottage, which, I mean, honestly, the leafy cottage doesn't quite go because it's got that really bright green kind of fake roof, but I liked it back here. And then we have that falling leaf little cottage. And I just used all the castle walls and kind of, not fenced off, but walled off this whole area. Okay, and then heading down into the wilds of Ever After. It's the last area of this particular section. Originally, I did have the pink love castle back in here, but I ended up switching it out with the classic castle. Here's the Corona Castle. And then going around here, we have Rapunzel's little seating area. I think this suited her with the bright pink chairs. She's just such a happy character. Well, unless she's hitting you with a frying pan. But other than that, she's a happy girl. So I wanted to make her area look bright and cheerful. I actually really like the snippet frogs bouncing around her particular area. And I think this just turned out really cute. Just a sweet, happy fun little area for her. Here's the gazebo, which actually empties out into the river, so you can walk in between the sections without walking all the way around the hedges. And a center courtyard. And then we have the classic Disney castle. Okay, and then heading outside the walls here, we'll see Goofy's stall along with all of the different little plots. What do you call them? They're not bushes, but it would be the equivalent of in the valley. The Brussels sprouts and strawberries. And then I have a special moment here for the well. And then heading across the bridge over to the enchanted area for Beast and Belle. So here we see Beast's castle flanked by the lions. And again, you can see I used the petals down in through here to flatten down that grass and make it an actual walkway. Here's a courtyard back in through here with their date night table. And then I used a gazebo to create a reading nook for Belle. As we know, she is our book queen. Okay, let's head back across the bridge here, and we're going to end our tour with the Library of Lore. For those of you who didn't know, you can decorate inside the library itself. It is quite challenging as there are already so many different walls and bookcases in place, along with a low ceiling. So your camera kind of tries to constantly adjust, and it makes it a little challenging to place items. I did do a video on this, but it had to be a tour. I tried to make it a speed build, but it was near to impossible. The camera angles were horrible. Okay, so on this side of the library, I made this an outdoor cafe using these book couches and then just some random tables and chairs. Here's our little cafe section itself where you can pick up your food, order your coffee or tea. The bookstore's Starbucks, shall we say. Okay, and then heading up the stairs into the library itself. On this particular side, it's going to be much more of an office kind of area. Oh, another thing to take out here. So I just use these particular nook sections to place some open books. I tried to make that look like a historical kind of scroll section where you could look at historical text. Just placing some rugs, benches, candles, all different kinds of reading places. All of those open books. Same with the teapot that, you see Mirabelle staring at. Those are all things that will gather your villagers to those particular areas. So I had an open book pile back there that Hades was reading, or I have an open book on a table, or the teapot. If you place those in certain areas where you want to see your villagers, making it look like they're interacting with your build itself, those are great items to use. Okay, here's the center of the library where the lore keeper is. I wanted this to look like kind of a council, where people would gather, make decisions about the valley, etc., where you would see Maleficent and Hades arguing. And then just in each little section here, creating a different kind of book nook. Oh, there's Belle standing at the open book there, so you can see how that works. Okay, so heading up towards the Mythopia end of the library. This is much more your traditional library setting. I tried to model it after kind of like a college, kind of like a Hogwarts kind of situation where it's little areas with leather couches and chairs and open books and teacups and things like that. Fireplaces, make it as cozy as possible. Different types of bookcases, depending on which section you're in. Here's a couple desks with computers. And again, just a couple chairs and a little table. And another petrified wood rock. You know, it's funny, I thought those were supposed to be in the bind more than the library, but I hardly ever see one in the actual bind. Okay, and then ending the tour here, we are headed down towards the Mythopia side, and this I turned into a concert venue. There's a DJ booth, but I used the concert stage and materials here. Honestly, I just couldn't think of what else to do library-wise. I mean, I had kind of covered that in the library itself. So what do you do on the outside here? So I made it just an outdoor concert venue, and I think it worked out pretty well. I think in the next holiday season, I would make it kind of maybe a Christmas market, or you could make it a Halloween haunted house kind of thing for Halloween. There are different kinds of things you can do with those outdoor builds that would be kind of cool for the holidays. And we'll just walk back through this section here. I really like how this build turned out. Like I said, it was kind of a pain because the camera wants to adjust consistently, but I like how it turned out. I thought it was really cute. Okay, we're going to head back outside here where Remy's restaurant is. I love that we can decorate on the bridge, and they allow you to take trees up here as well, which totally surprised me. I did not expect that at all. So you can see I have the Mythopia trees there. You can't place it on path, but you can place it on this bridge, which works for me. Hey, I'll take anything I can get. So thank you all for sticking through this tour. I really enjoyed taking you through. I hope you found some inspiration. I hope you start decorating like crazy in the bind and in Mythopia and ever after. And keep on dreaming.